Hi everyone, I'm Saul Aronovitch, and welcome to Journey Through the Veil. Today, we're diving into a conversation called God's House, an unscripted moment about finding the sacred in ordinary life. Let's listen in.
So, how does this make you realize that you can reach realization?
Okay, I don't know if that was a part of it, but
You said you could literally reach
yeah,
realization through
okay.
shoveling.
Well, it was the idea because you mentioned yoga. No, we need to practice yoga. Of course, we need to practice yoga because it helps us to clear our minds, removing all the tendencies and burning them up and redirecting ourselves to God. But it's not just in yoga, and it's not just in this contemplative state to be able to bring yourself to God. And I realized that, or I realized it as I was cleaning up the garden stuff outside, shoveling and raking and all the thorny branches. And then I stopped and I looked at what I was doing, and I realized that I wasn't cleaning up this space for me. I was cleaning up this space for God. I was cleaning up God's house, God's home. I, as his servant, was cleaning up his space, making it good, making it presentable and nice. And I actually thought to myself, and this I didn't just tell you before, but I'm not that good at stuff. I have problems, I have issues, I can't fix anything. I try and it works, and there are breaks and I'm in between. And I thought, how good is this though? I'm doing this for God. That's the intention, but I'm not that great. And then I thought, it doesn't matter how good you are or how well you're able to do things, because the intention of doing it for God is more than enough. It's like as if you have a child, little 5-year-old, who brings a drawing and you look at it and you're like, oh my, what the heck is this? And they say, look, it's a sun, it's a whatever, it's you and me at a park. And you're looking at thinking, no, not really. But God would take it all the same and love it all the same because it was given through devotion and through love. And so, like cleaning up the outside, as I was sweeping it, I'm thinking, I don't own anything because it was given to me by God to use the space, to be temporarily present here, until the time to return. But while I'm here, cleaning up and sweeping and looking at the house and saying, this isn't my house, this is God's home. And the reward is what he gives to us every day. Some give a lot, some give a little, but if you're not in want for much, why would you be given much? Why would you be given things to satisfy an urge that you don't actually have? And how will that amplify your true purpose of finding God if you are given things that won't help you in that purpose and are just bring you back into a state of I want, I need, I want? Not that we don't need money or food or things like that. We don't need yachts. We don't need trips to, all around the world 20,000 times. The level of the reward is not the level of the giving. And so I realized that the heightened state of awareness, the union with consciousness, comes simply by recognizing that we are not any of the things we're doing, that we don't own any of the things we're doing, but they are truly an opportunity to share our love for the one who gave us this opportunity, not the object, but the opportunity to express our love through the objects. That's very different than feeling you have the object, as opposed to being given the environment to express your love through that environment. And so getting upset and frustrated, which, I have too, or I want to do certain things, or, we're having a hard time, or, we get tired and we can't do the yoga, we really want to, and all that. Yes, we need to. But that is also creating another environment for us to be able to reach closer to Him. And if our bodies and our minds are struggling to do that, then that shouldn't stop us from saying, okay, well, my body and mind didn't allow me this morning because I felt whatever I felt. But now is a new time. Uh, the old guy was saying a prisoner who was born with negative tendencies right from the start, as opposed to those who are born with the good intentions from the start. At some point in their life, the prisoner, the one with the negative intention, at some point in their life, they do something so small with such devotion to God. That's the moment right there that he's no longer a prisoner and he's no longer the one who was born with negative tendencies. He is now righteous with God at that very moment, and nothing else matters. So every day or every opportunity that we have to present ourselves to God in a way to show love negates the things we couldn't do, like the yoga. And we've already surpassed the effect yoga would have had because now we've surpassed our own tendency into this newfound love through a different expression. And so it doesn't matter what we do. Reading, writing, learning about God, every single thing. When we realize that we are not these things, we're constantly in the state of devotion, constantly in the state of awareness. Therefore, we are constantly in the state of oneness. We just don't realize it yet because we're so stuck in the things we didn't do or couldn't do or wish to do that keeps pulling us back. None of that matters. It matters for our physical body to clear, to help things that we are having struggles with. But that to God doesn't matter. That matters to us. And that means it shouldn't matter to us because it doesn't matter to God. I'm glad that was recorded because I don't remember anything I just said. Yeah, 7 minutes. I struggle with this every day, every single day. I'm constantly thinking like this because my mind goes, what I couldn't do, what I want to do, what I wish to do. And not for me, for you, for the kids, for whatever, for the house. Every day, there's that constant thought of what I didn't do. But sitting and sweeping or standing and sweeping the floor, the stuff outside, I was just brushing it. And I thought, the property that I'm standing on and the sidewalk are one and the same to God. So if I'm going to act in love towards God as this being his house, well, that means it's a sidewalk too. And of course, I'm not going to sweep the street, but at least the front entrance. And I didn't go far. I just went to the edge on the sidewalk, and just a thought came to me about that. And my whole perception changed what I was doing. And then I felt better. I felt good. I already feel good when I clean outside, but I felt even better thinking that God just put me here on this earth to show love for him and in turn reward it and in turn find a way closer to him. So what is my offering to him? What am I doing? I'm sweeping his patio. God, I'm making your space worth uh worth its presence.
But so isn't that good too for God?
What I'm saying is that it didn't matter what I was doing. I was literally sweeping the sidewalk, and that was more than enough. Because my intention was, this is your space. I'm sweeping your space. Look how beautiful your space is. Thank you, Lord, for giving me an opportunity to be in your presence, in your space, the house that you give. And right away, I felt myself skyrocket just by that feeling alone. And it was in a short instance where I felt I am really not of this world, as we say. We're in this world.
So, in a way, what you're saying is when we can't achieve and do the things we want to, because, for instance, physically we can't, because, example, this morning I woke up with definitely signs of an infection. and the pain was a lot. So it was hard to physically move to do my yoga. So what you're saying is, even though I couldn't physically move to do my yoga, I shouldn't feel guilty about it because when I do, I'm bringing myself so far from God.
All you could have done to do that was grab the mala and pray and thank the Lord for the life you have today. And that would have negated the whole thing. You would have right away shot into a state of oneness by doing a different opportunity the body didn't allow, because we ourselves, the infection is an infection. We can't, that's something that happened to you. You didn't do anything to make it happen. It happened. While we're constantly in this state of trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing, obviously trying and succeeding as well. But try, succeed, or try and fail, both of them are one and the same to God. We try in full devotion to God, but our physical body is not capable, therefore it fails us. Our mental state of awareness is not capable, the mind is not capable, so it fails us. But the intention was full devotion to God. You don't think, let's say, a kid is so dedicated to God in studies, but fails. But their dedication is so strong, but they fail. It's the physical body that failed. The mind is just not capable yet. It needs training. But that physical, devotion, so strong, gotta be cheering as if you got 110%. And you just need the practice and dedication again to keep going. But it's the physical body. Once it's done, it's done. You've already surpassed the spiritual concept of connecting with God. That's more than he asks. We are deciding to do certain things here because we feel that's what we're drawn to be closer to him, because that's really what we're being called to do. And that's a part of our calling. Who's to say that calling isn't easy to get there? The difficulties that we strive to get there are our own challenges of the physical, mental, emotional.
Yes. What's the challenge of desires? And our aversions. Like that's what creates our biggest challenges in life.
Yes.
All of humanity.
Yes.
Because our desires are what creates our attachments.
Exactly.
And our aversions is what we dislike, which then obviously the more we dislike things, the more we go into this negative content, which is the more we create distance from God.
Yes. But like that prisoner that I explained, all it takes is just the awareness and it's practice, right? That's the part of the merging and the whole thing and the end result. It's practice because we're constantly burning. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's practice to just redirect the not for now. When we do our single point of concentration, the not for now. Everything in our life, every second of our life is a not for now. Every single second that is not devoted to God is a not for now. Every single second. Which means we can take everything we're doing, attribute it towards God, and now everything becomes a for now. Everything is. There's no such thing as a not for now anymore. It could literally be washing dishes, like Juliet, who talks about singing while washing dishes.
Washing dishes and I see the bubbles. I feel that that's a moment with God.
There you go, and it is. And other people might look at it and say, well, it's really strange. Well, it's because they haven't found their way to connect yet. They haven't found their child inside, or they haven't found even any way to connect. I found it sweeping. The sidewalk. It comes and goes and comes and goes because that's our growth and our progress. But it's the moment that we feel we shouldn't have, then that's where we block it.
Our judgments of ourselves.
And if we didn't, because we were just lazy, or we're tired, or we're just going to a spiral pattern, that's the body's issue. But we can stop it right away towards God and say to ourselves, okay, I didn't do that. But now that I realize it, what can I do to continue?
I just so important.
Yes, action's so important, but action with awareness.
Yes.
Yoga.
That's what he was saying. It's very much like if you're trying to go towards the spirit of God, you have to actually first, if you're a sailor, you would prepare your router, you wrote whatever it was called, you would prepare your sail, you would
Yeah.
prepare everything and wait for the wind in order all this action in order to flow with the spirit of God. But if you're not doing anything and you're just sitting there waiting when the spirit and the wind of comes to you, you have to be ready because you did nothing to prepare.
Right. But preparation is everything. The preparation isn't the physical preparation is not to achieve a physical result. The physical preparation is our
So let it go.
and it's our the physical preparation that we do, whether it's yoga, whether it's meditation, whether it's just working or cleaning the kitchen or whatever it is, this is preparation also. Because while you're doing that, you can get into a state of contemplation. You can get into a state of gratitude while you're doing those things. Everything we do is an opportunity to connect. Everything. If we don't know, if we don't realize that, then you don't get your wind, right? The preparation is I'm doing this activity for God, for His glory, because I don't own anything and I'm being rewarded. And that's your win. I felt it. I was outside. I was sweeping, and then I stopped. I was just cleaning up, and I was being pricked by all the crazy stuff out there. And I just stopped. I looked at the sidewalk, and I thought, "We sweep the sidewalk, not the driveway or walkway." And I swept it, and then I stopped, and then it just hit me, and I realized, who am I in this space? This is God's home. I don't own this. God does, and He blessed us with it. And as soon as I felt that, I felt the rush. And that's all it took. That was the wind. I felt the connection. And it made me feel vibrant, alive. That's the Holy Spirit, if you want to use that language.
The Great Spirit, or you can say
Exactly.
the universal.
Action with awareness is yoga. You might as well write yoga in there. That's the it.
It's all the same.
Exactly. But that's it. That was it. That's what I felt. And right away, it made me not think about anything that I didn't do or should have done or would have done. It made me feel like I'm cleaning this space for God. And although it looks, there were some weeds and all that around, but I felt, I wasn't going to start nitpicking every little thing. Just the intention of who I was doing this for, even seeing with the weeds and the rocks and the cracks and whatever else, I didn't see it. I just saw a nice space for God. And that was it. All the little extras, gone. That's the true essence of what we're talking about here. Because I could have said, but there's a weed. There's that. And then what am I doing? I'm negate, 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 negate. It's like I just threw away everything of that glory that I just felt, which is how the connection happens. It was very powerful. And then it went away, the feeling, that strong feeling, but there's a part of it still resides inside of me. And
Just made you.
it did. And it'll come back because the more you keep to that, the more it'll come back. The body, the mind, the intellect, it all remembers that moment, little moment of experience. It remembers it. And like I say, sometimes you go, oh, I don't remember anything, but at least the subconscious does. That's not false.
No, that's
It's just my brain doesn't necessarily register it. And I wait for the next opportunity where it'll come back in, but I'm open to the opportunities and they do come. That's all it took. I didn't have to nitpick of all the little things. Oh, he's not gonna be pleased because I still got some weeds. That's me. I didn't really care. I felt good. That was enough. I could have been literally blind, not knowing what exactly at all what I'm looking at. And that's really what you want to be, not physically, but the adult in the toy store. None of that little thing matters. But you see, what God looks at us is the little kids in the toy store. God looks at us like the little babies and, with the big eyes and grabbing everything and putting everything in our mouths. That's how God looks at us.
No, not that. That's danger. No, not.
Exactly. That's how he looks at us. Sure, it's how he looks at us. Guaranteed.
Why can't I eat the floor? Because it's just not good for you, dear. Why can't I eat the chip rock on the wall? Because it's just not good.
Why can't I drive 120 kilometers, 130 kilometers an hour? I mean, with 200 kilometers. Why can't I have my drugs? Why can't I have my cigarette? Why can't I stay up super late and do whatever else and just have fun? Why? And God will look at it and say, okay, you're on your own, kid. I'll be at the door when you come back.
Emotions. So much sense when you put it into that context.
Well, that's how I try and approach the kids the same way.
I don't think they always get it because they don't really get it. But
Like God to us, they don't need to get it. They'll,
we were kids. We didn't want to do what our parents
of
suggested.
course not. And we only learned later on.
Just
And then, and
like
we were in that
it was an opportunity to feel older and
but
feel like
we
you're in control.
but we just changed toy stores. We didn't stop liking them. We just are now more in adult toy stores. Metaphorically, because not those kind of stores, but you know what I mean.
Catch on to that. Oh my god, it's getting too late. I can even catch on to that. Why would you even say that?
Because it's what came to me as what they thought of. But you know what I mean?
I get it. You're saying that now we're playing with uh bigger toys, such as instead of a, you know,
Yeah, we're playing with houses,
plane, we're now playing with
real planes, houses, cars,
what's it called? Those things that
drones.
drones. We're playing with drones and cameras as adults, as opposed to a little kid playing with Lego,
That's it.
or with this little, you know,
Yeah, and
motorized car that still has a string to it. Now we're playing with these drones that fly over the city and take pictures, and we feel like we're professional photographers, and in the end it's a toy, right?
and they can be used if for whatever reason, but even those can bring glory to God. If whoever is using them and doing them that's their purpose. So we're in this world now. People are creating things, but the creations are like a hammer. You know, they're done for one way or the other. But anyway, so that was pretty much what I was thinking.